I wanted to talk about fantasy drafting today. And when you go into the draft, you should know that every single slot matters. A lot of people will get into the later rounds and just stop caring. They'll put a lot of careful considerations into the first 5 picks, and then everything after that, they just go for whatever's left, just grab the top guy, or the top ranked guy, I should say. Because for some people, the last guy that you pick, he's just gonna sit on your bench for a couple days, then you're gonna drop him as soon as someone else starts looking good in preseason and whatever. Well, the later picks, you just pick them up at the moment, and then as soon as something else becomes available, you grab that. That's how a lot of people tend to draft. But for me personally, I like to remember this. Tom Brady was selected in the 7th round. He almost went undrafted. Look at his career so far. I had a draft earlier this summer, and I used the 9th pick, my 9th round, to pick up Mike Williams, the receiver from Tampa Bay. And I honestly consider this to be a huge steal. I plan to start him a few times this year. He might even be a week 1 starter. Because, Carolina's got a very weak defense. And why did I pick him up in the 9th round? It's because he was ranked so low. And no, he might not be an every week starter, but he has every week potential. I would not be surprised to see him have a breakout season. And yet he's ranked so low. And why is his ranking so low? Does he have such a small value? It's because he's on the same team as Vincent Jackson, which actually bumps up his value. Now, let's be honest, last year, Mike Williams, he didn't do much. But with all the weapons that have been added to that offense, Josh Freeman is bound to have a bounce-back year. If Josh Freeman doesn't do much better this year than he did last season, Tampa has the wrong quarterback. Because he's got all the weapons. All he has to do is just not fuck it up. And Williams, who is already a terrific physical specimen, is now going to be on the same team as Vincent Jackson, who will command all the coverages. Now, because last year Williams had a pretty decent season despite the fact that the entire Tampa Bay offense struggled, and Josh Freeman couldn't really complete passes to save his life. And last season, Williams was covered by the top corners. This season, Vincent Jackson is going to be covered by the number 1 corners. If they play the Chiefs, Brandon Flowers will cover Vincent Jackson. If they play the Jets, Darrelle Revis will cover Vincent Jackson. If they play the Eagles, Nnamdi Asomugha would cover Vincent Jackson. All the number 1 cornerbacks in the league are going to be covering Vincent Jackson. When they play a safety over the top, more than likely it'll be on VJ's side of the ball. So Mike Williams is going to get a lot of single coverage and against lesser defenders. And because of that, he's probably going to get better production this season than he ever has in his career. And he's a pretty good guy too. I mean, Vincent Jackson, we talk about how big he is. He's at 6'5", but Williams is pretty well built as well, standing at 6'2", and most cornerbacks in the league are like 5'10", 5'11". So Mike still has a good advantage against most defenders. And I think this could be his year to shine. And I would not at all be shocked to see Mike Williams and Vincent Jackson both get top 1,000 yards this season. Possibly even both of them getting double-digit touchdowns. In fact, I would not be shocked to also see Mike Williams outdo Vincent Jackson's production. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that any of this will happen. I'm just saying, Mike Williams is a great guy and he has the talent, and having a guy like Vincent Jackson on the team only adds to that value, because now Vincent Jackson serves as a huge distraction for the rest of the defenses. They're all going to be looking at him as the number 1 receiver, and they're going to be putting a lot less attention on Mike Williams, who can do a great job running routes. He's a big body, not as big as Vincent Jackson, but still big enough that he can be an efficient red zone target. You know, he can walk over the middle of the field. He's got the speed to run some deep routes. Mike Williams, he's a late round projection, and I consider that if he's available in the later rounds, pick him up. He gives you some good depth at receiver, and I consider it a steal. And if he proves me wrong, I'm sorry, but I don't think he will. I'm expecting some big things out of him this season.